Hello and welcome to the world of Jeff Easy, where we talk comic books, games, pop culture, and the effects on society. Today's episode will be about the fate of Warner Brothers. In this episode titled, WB is Cursed. Because they are. Let's look at their history for the last few years maybe. Or let's take it back to the beginning of one of their most recent and popular franchises, the DC. DC Comics has been around since forever in my book, longer than I've been alive, longer than most people who've been alive who go see these movies, and longer than most people who read these books who've been alive. So when you think about it, there's really no reason why characters such as Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Flash, all of these wonderful, layered, iconic characters of the genre are completely overshadowed by Marvel Comics, which also is great. And again, Marvel Comics has also been around for quite a long time now. But if you were to think about it, if you were to tell me 20 years ago that an Ant-Man movie, I know this is tired, saying an Ant-Man movie or a Doctor Strange movie or a Guardians of the Galaxy movie or any of these characters, some known, some lesser known, are just on a more popular level than Batman or Superman. It's just almost insane. You wouldn't believe it, but almost more than that. I mean, we're talking about movies on average at this point, and they've been doing it for more than a decade now, generating more than $500 million every rip, which also was kind of unheard of 20 or so years ago for any franchise, for any movie studio. Making $500 million used to be a big deal when the first Iron Man came out. Now, unfortunately, not so much, and I think that's another topic for another video. But in this, let's just stick with Marvel and DC. Well, let's just stick with like the DC and why Warner Brothers is cursed. So Man of Steel came out, and it was the answer to what Marvel was doing, even though Marvel was in their beginning stages. And I, as someone who told myself, if they're ever gonna make any of these books into movies, I'm gonna see them no matter what. I mean, I don't care if I think it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna go see it. So, see Man of Steel, and I enjoyed it. Most people I know enjoyed it. Most people I know actually loved it. A very close friend of mine still raves about that movie. But I understand the dislikes about that movie. And not to, critique it, because this isn't really a critique video. But I understand the sentiments about Superman not appealing to people in the way that he could have or should have. And by that I mean, I don't need my Superman or Batman to be exactly like they are in the books, because there are many different incarnations of those characters, and there are many different incarnations of all of these characters. But one would assume, if you're starting a franchise from scratch, rebooting a franchise from scratch, you would take a route that would be the most easy to follow, or a basic version of this character to build off of. You're not thinking, oh, we're going to take, the darkest version of this character and run with it. Or we're not going to take, dissect this character in a way that would be similar to what's popular at the time. You're going to take Superman and give us, Superman. And I'm not saying that everything has to be bright and colorful. And I feel that a lot of people don't need their characters bright and colorful. As right now, a lot of shows on TV are the exact opposite of those bright and colorful shows. And they're doing great, getting ratings and making a lot of money. My point is to say that maybe when they started this, they were kind of off to the wrong foot. they gave a dark, gloomy, Batman-esque version of Superman, or at least a Batman-esque version of a movie. And I still enjoyed it for what it was worth. Then later, instead of announcing a sequel to that same movie, we got Batman versus Superman. Which one would say, well, if you grew up reading these books, your head's gonna explode because now you're getting both of them in the same movie for the first time ever. Which is great. However, it would have made sense to just make another Superman movie, to make a Batman movie on the side. Don't rush things. And I know, it's been years, and there's been several videos and analysis videos on this topic and that movie, but I'm not going to really go into it. That came out. Made stupid money. Almost $1 billion. But it's the most famous and most iconic movie to make almost $1 billion. And still be hailed as a failure in the eyes of critics and in the eyes of a lot of financial people. So now I'm not going to say like, I know the exact reason for this or that, I know all, but I mean, here we have a situation where you started going in a direction that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But that's fine. You build off those mistakes, you make it better. You also threw in a new character. Well, not a new character, but you threw Batman in there. You squeezed Wonder Woman in there, and you squeezed in several allusions to other big name characters that you went further with. So one would say, okay, it suffered from having too many cooks in the kitchen, too many cooks in the pot, too many ingredients in this bowl. Yes, story-wise, casting-wise, I mean, there are several issues. I could make several videos on that one movie, but you've seen them all, so we don't need to go there. I guess my point is to say they started one way, went further in a direction that tore people apart in a style that most people would say was clearly just an attempt to be like another big name director who wouldn't do this for you. That's rude. Okay, I'm talking about Christopher Nolan, but the point is, they went in this direction. They made choices. Now, at this time, Warner Brothers was not bought out by AT&T just yet. So, with that said, the management was the management that they had for some time. Now you have buyouts in place, on top of probably internal conflict, because it's clear that even though there was no overall vision, clearly people just aren't on the same page with what they want to do with these movies. Because you also had a Suicide Squad movie come out around that same time, that if you were to look at that, you would say to yourself, how the hell do Batman and Superman even exist in the same world? And if they do, why the hell am I looking at these people going up against the things they're going up against? Again, these are superhero movies and they're built for you to suspend your disbelief. Again, you must first build the belief. Now, around this time, I believe this is near the AT&T buyout, where a lot of things are going to change. Actually, this is before the buyout, actually. Now, around this time, we're hearing rumors. We're hearing rumors about Ray Fisher, who's playing Cyborg in Justice League, which I guess you could call the trilogy to the whole Superman versus Batman franchise. There is talk of mistreatment going on. There's talk of Ben Affleck being an alcoholic. There is talk of Henry Cavill not coming back and them wasting his time when he clearly is a valuable asset in other movies and other franchises, and highly underrated. I mean, there was talk of conflict with their main director, Zack Snyder, who was homing most of these projects. You had drama, I even believe, between Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller at one point, which I believe died down. But okay, now it's August 12th, 2022. We all know what's going on with Ezra Miller, and I'll get into that in a moment. But I mean, all this stuff is starting to compile on each other. But look on the other side. Let's look at Marvel. Now, from 2012 to now, can anyone really think if any real scandals, any real mischievousness, any real shenanigans, any real stories coming out of Marvel or Disney in regards to any of their actors? Are any of them like in trial right now, going to court? Is anybody, assaulted anyone? Is anyone, mistreating members on set? I mean, is anyone in the news for any of that? And also, I guess a more important question is their studio allowing for nonsense to happen? Because like I said, the episode is titled Warner Brothers is Cursed. But is Warner Brothers doing this to themselves? And some people will say, well, no, that's a hard question to ask because, again, they're going through different management. Understandable. But some of the same people have remained. Zack Snyder, of course, had his tragedy, which was spun in a way to make you believe that because of that tragedy, he was leaving Warner Brothers. But there were other things going on. Ben Affleck wasn't doing his Batman movie. But there were other things going on. What else we got going on? Oh, all the other movies they promised weren't going on. Because I believe at one point, Armie Hammer, who was going through some things at the moment, and was going through some things, he was Green Lantern. So that didn't happen. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just don't understand. Let's talk about Ezra Miller. So this guy's out here with guns. He's got body armor. He's got men, women, and children. Well, he's probably not men. He's got women and children on a farm somewhere. I mean, this guy's going full cult style. Full cult. You never go full cult. So he's doing that in a movie that should have been released years ago, but due to the pandemic and due to streaming and due to HBO Max and 2020, 2021, things will push back. But now they're starting to talk about him in the news just a little bit. Now, again, if you're watching this, you probably have, all types of thoughts and opinions on Ezra Miller. I've seen 100 videos about the topic. But the general movie-going fan doesn't even know who this person is. They've barely seen his face. It's ridiculous. It truly is. Nothing in the history, I think, of movies like this has really gone on. With an actor who is still in the role, At the same time, Johnny Depp went through what he went through. He was canceled out of all his movies. I don't even want to use that word because I don't want to appeal to that, anti-woke crowd, but because he wasn't necessarily canceled anyway. But Johnny Depp had his issues. Kicked him out of his movies. I mean, I believe there was someone else they ended up getting rid of. Maybe that was another studio. So that was with the quickness. Well, let's go back. Maybe around the time of Justice League. Maybe around the time of the Zack Snyder extended edition of Justice League. So we have video footage of Ezra Miller choking the shit out of some woman. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is a joke. This is a prank. It's not real. But it was. They never said anything about it. They never did anything about it. But time had passed. And now we hear about him throwing chairs at people in the bar, beating up on people, men and women. Nothing was done. And then the weird videos about him threatening the KKK and all types of things of that nature with the so-called woman he's grooming, and nothing happened. And it's just more and more and more, and it makes me want to believe and hope that maybe this is just some ploy of marketing or something like that, where really this is all just for the movie, and really the people, the guy we're witnessing out there committing and being accused of these crimes is really just Yellow Flash. Ichabod. You know, it would really be great if that was really the case. You know, I would applaud it. But that's going on. Amber Heard, again, back to Johnny Depp, slowing up Aquaman 2, which was like the first $1 billion movie, and they can't even get a sequel to that. You know, so, I mean, are they cursed? Like, what is going on? What is going on with Warner Brothers? What is going on? The Rock got on stage at what's a Comic-Con, got booed. I mean, what is going on with Warner? What? And you know what? I'm gonna break off, because you know what? It's not even just about DC. I could go on and on. This might just be my part 1 video. This might just be an introduction summary of like how I feel right now, because I still want to live in the world where DC is doing just as good as everybody, if not better. I mean, let's talk about Warner Brothers, HBO Max. The movies they released that were meh. Mortal Kombat, meh. What was that one? Denzel and Morbius, meh. You know, I love all these actors. I don't want to sound hateful or anything. It's just, I mean, what's going on? Like, what? Did any of you guys see The Matrix? Did anyone see that piece of fecal matter? Because I will have several videos on that. Several. Well, this will be part 1 in my attempt to talk about things in the industry I feel just upside down right now. And Warner Brothers is just one of them. And you know, I hope you guys got something from it. I hope you guys get something from the next one, and hit that like and subscribe button. My name is Chef Easy, and I'm out. Peace.